What is going on, nerds, geeks, wrestling marks, cryptos, and everything in between? This is another episode of Gaming Ringside with Bigfoot. I am your host, Straight Edge 71711. And how about that latest cinematic from Blizzard? Yeah, I'm talking about the one where Gul'dan shows that the legendary quest continues with he's standing up to freaking Gromosh. I gotta say, that was an unexpected turn. I wasn't expecting that. As far as the progression goes, let's talk about the lore a little bit. You know, Gul'dan having the balls to go right up to Gromosh and offering the demon's blood for a second time. Honestly, I didn't see that coming. We know now from this one cinematic. I will say it was really interesting to say, and I get closer because I was wondering the whole time whether Gromosh and, for that matter, Duratan would ever find out during this timeline if Thrall and Garrosh were their sons from a different time. We now know from this cinematic that Gromosh indeed knows that Garrosh Hellscream is his son, and that he's not from this time, which is cool, because I'm sure that those of us that do care about the lore are wondering that the whole time. The one thing that's interesting here is that it's starting to become plainly apparent that we all thought, in my opinion, and this is all my opinion, and you can disagree, we all thought that the master of this, or the rock star of this show, was going to be Gromosh Hellscream. I'm starting to think, and I've predicted this from the beginning, that this expansion is all about Gul'dan and not Gromosh. And I think that's the curveball that Blizzard has been planning to throw us all along. I think that from what we've seen here, and what we will see as the expansion progresses, is that Gromosh will be that hero that he always has been, or that he was in that original timeline. And what I mean by that is that don't be surprised if Gromosh ends up joining or somehow helping the Alliance and the Horde in the fight against the real threat. I mean, you heard it from Gul'dan himself. Gul'dan said, I'm going to create a new Horde. From this new Horde, what I gather what he's referring to is the Burning Legion. We all know that the real threat all along that has been lying dormant for this whole time in the WoW universe is the Burning Legion. Every single sentient being on Azeroth fears one thing, and that's the Burning Legion. If you really go back and you start to listen to all the things that the Black Prince was talking about during Mr. Pandaria and the legendary quest line, you know, he was always talking about how your Horde and your Alliance need to They need to be aware of the fact that there's a greater threat out there, and that this petty infighting gets you nowhere. And the only way that Azeroth survives is if everybody works together. I think that Gromosh Hellscream will very much be a part of that, and he will be just as legendary in this timeline as he was in the original. I think that by the time the expansion ends, the moral of the story, if you will be, it doesn't matter how many times you go back through time or how much someone wants to fuck with a timeline or events, destiny is destiny. And I think that Gromosh Hellscream is destined to be a legendary hero to his people and to the Horde, just like he was in the original timeline. And we'll see that in this timeline by him seeing the error, maybe not seeing the error of his ways, but, you know, realizing that the real threat here is Gul'dan, and he'll join us in that fight. And I think that the next expansion will have something to do with the Burning Legion. Hell, we might even see the Lich King again, because when you think about it, the timeline has been completely skewed, and all these things that happened, created mostly by Gul'dan and Ner'zhul, because Ner'zhul was part of that in the original timeline. We're going to see that all over again. We may be dealing with the Scourge and the Burning Legion, which is very interesting. I gotta say, I don't know. You know, most people don't give a crap about lore. You know, hardcore players just give a crap about their progression. But those of us that do care about the story, very satisfied with that cinematic. Completely, you know, I was reading between the lines. I was, you know, paying attention. I know that there were some people that were saying, "Oh, okay, well, how is it that the blood still has the effect when Manoros was killed by, you know, he was killed by Gromosh in this new timeline, so how can that blood have any property?" Obviously, if you were paying attention to what was really going on in that video, whatever Kilrog drank was not the blood of Manoros. That was something else. It was definitely the blood of a demon that was way more powerful than Manoros, because he didn't just simply get that curse that turned him green with the red glowing eyes. He became a full-fledged Fel Orc. And there's a huge difference between a Fel Orc and what happened to the original Orcs in the original timeline. So whatever we're dealing with here, like I said, Gul'dan is one. He is one sinister motherfucker. And if you've been paying attention to the storyline in the game, Archmage Khadgar has said it. You know, it's there's a reason why he's pretty much afraid of that guy. And I think we're going to see it as the expansion progresses. But to me, the most exciting thing is the fact that Grommash Hellscream, in my opinion, will be the hero that he always has been in this timeline as he was in the original, which is an unexpected curve. I didn't expect that at all. You know, I pretty much thought that Garrosh, you know, was going to get his dream and create his Iron Horde and, you know, convince his father that this is the right way to go and turn his father into a homicidal maniac, just like he was. And it's actually nice to see that probably is not going to happen. That probably isn't going to happen, and that really is something. I think what's going to happen here is you're no matter how much you wanted to change it, Grommash will still become that mentor that he was to Thrall, and he will still be a legendary hero of his people. And that's exciting. You know, I'd like to know what you guys think. You know, what do you guys think of the twist in the story? What do you guys think? You know, it could be nothing. It could still very well end up being the way everyone thought it was going to be, with Grommash being a homicidal maniac, just like Garrosh. And on a side note, too, you know, I was kind of disappointed that Thrall ended up killing Garrosh so quickly. I would have liked to have seen Garrosh be a boss in one of the raids again, so that we could kill him. But that's neither here nor there. You know, we got closure in that regard, and Thrall pretty much showed the badass that he truly is. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think of the twist? What do you guys think of the story? How do you guys feel about it going in this direction instead of what everybody anticipated? And let me know if I'm dead. You know, tell me if you think I am just dead off and I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, or if I'm reading too much into it. Tell me, you know, let me know what you guys, you know, gathered from the cinematic. I could have missed something completely, but who knows? You know, let's just share our opinions, and I'll be open to yours. You guys are open to mine. As always, though, I'll see you guys later. Until the next geeky adventure.